Welcome to day 3 session of Sundarakandam. I will now turn it over to Sivakumar sir.
Namaskaram, welcome all, one and all, and let us take this beautiful journey to the third day with the most important and significant and the most beautiful part of Sundarakandam, the Chudamani Darshanam Anguliya Pradhanam and the Chudamani Darshanam, which is supposed to be the most significant part of Sundarakandam, which we are dealing today with. Before that, as usual, I begin with the Ekasloki Ramayana. Purvam Rama Tapovanaadigamanam Khatva Mriga Kanchanam Vaidehi Haranam Jatayumaranam Sugriva Sambhashanam Bali Nigrahanam Samudrataranam Lanka Puri Dahanam Paschat Ravana Kumbhakarna Hananam Etadviramayanam. With this Ekasloki Ramayana of Srimad Valmiki Ramayana, we begin today's session with the most important, as I had mentioned, the Chudamani Anguliya Pradhanam and the Chudamani Darshanam portion of Sundarakandam. Before that, I would like to give a small briefing regarding the significance of this particular deeds which were mentioned in the Valmiki Ramayana. The deeds, the mighty and the beautiful deeds of the Sundara, the beautiful Vanara, the Anjaneya, the Vanarottama. Here you can see about Anguliya Pradhanam and Chudhamani Darshanam. When you are mentioning about Anguliya Pradhanam and Chudhamani Darshanam, is everyone able to hear? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Mama.
One second.
Video
Yeah, but we can't see you, sir.
No, that's what I was wondering. 1 second. Yes. Now?
Yes.
Before mentioning about this Anguliya Pradhanam and Chudhamani Darshanam, we see the significance of the delegating things, significance of delegating things, delivering things, the importance of biometrics and identification, which was done in those days, which was displayed by Anjaneya in this particular deed by showing the identifications of Rama's signet ring, the Anguliya to Sita, and also vice versa, getting the Chudamani from Sita Devi and back to Rama, which was the biometrics in those days. So biometrics, which we see now regarding visa and other things for various reasons in different countries, was very well in place in those days itself. And also the beautiful way of how a messenger is able to manage things in the right way and how it has to be done was displayed and shown by Anjaneya through these deeds. So the significance of delivering, delegation, documentation, biometrics, and the duty of a messenger in the right way between the protocols, following the protocols between the dignitaries and getting them to the all these were displayed and shown by the great Anjaneya. So here we have the first sloka today from the Sarga 36 of Sundarakanda, the sloka number 2 from the 36th Sarga of Sundarakanda. Vanaroham mahabage dute ramasya dhimataha Ramanama ankitam cha idam pashya devi anguliyakam Vanaro aham mahabhage duto ramasya dhimataha Ramanama ankitam cha idam pashya devi anguliyakam. Here, Vanaro aham, I being the Vanara Mahabhage, I being the Vanara, Dhuto Ramasya Dhimataha, the messenger of Dhuta, Ramanama Ankitam, Ankitam, the signature Ankitam, the identity, Ramanama Ankitam, Rama's name born Ankitam, Anguliyakam, Icha Idam Pashya, please see this, I have brought it to you. Hey Devi Sita, that is what Anjaneya is showing here in this sloka. O illustrious lady, I am a monkey and a messenger. Rather than monkey, actually it is a Vanarottama. Vanara is an ape above the monkey. The next evolution, actually, according to science, before we humans came. So that means he's a Vanarottama. And a messenger of the wise Rama. O princess, look at this ring too, marked with Rama's name. It's a biometric identification and the protocol followed by a messenger to get the dignitaries meeting each other. Vanaroham Mahabhage Dhuto Ramasya Dhimataha Ramanama Ankitam Cha Idam Pashya Devi Anguliyakam. Rama, Rama, Rama. We have the first temple, the beautiful Alathur Hanuman temple, which is associated with this particular sloka. Beautiful Hanuman in this particular slide, where in Alathur, which is the place in Tirur district, rather Tirur, the place Tirur in Malappuram district of Kerala, the present Kerala. It is something very beautiful to mention here that this particular temple has been consecrated and the idol has been erected by none other than sage Vasishta, one of the Sapta Rishis, around 3000 and odd years before, roughly according to the geologists and others. And here you have Anjaneya Swami, you can see in the slide itself, having his head tilted towards the left side, where Rama's idol, because originally it is a Rama's temple, where Anjaneya has been erected there by sage Vasishta. So listening to the master's words, he has his head tilted towards the left to listen to Rama's words, and especially here is the place where it is supposed to be, according to the legend, that Rama gave him the Abhijnana Vakya. Abhijnana Vakya, the Q word, where it is to enable him to gain the confidence of Sita, to give him all the personal secrets to be told to Sita, so that Sita gets the confidence that he is really the messenger of Rama and not anybody as an imposter. So this was done in those days itself. You can see the significance of biometrics plus the secretive messages passed on and how it was done even in those days, billions and millions of years when Ramayana in the Treta Yuga happened. So, and here the Anjaneya is a personification of divine strength, confidence, concentration of purpose, bhakti, and of all the embodiment of humility in spite of having all the powers, the embodiment of humility and a true self-sacrifice person towards his Lord, Rama. And for the purpose of Rama, how humble he was with all his powers intact inside him. So again, I repeat the sloka here. Vanaroham Mahabhage Dhuto Ramasya Dhimatah Ramanama Ankitam Cha Idam Pashya Devi Anguliyakam. Rama, Rama, Rama. We go to the second sloka here, which is the sloka number 3 from the same Sarga 36 of Sundarakandam, again describing the further incidents of Anguliya Pradhana. Pratyayartham tavanitam, pratyayartham tavanitam, tena dhattam mahatmana, tena dhattam mahatmana, samashvasihi bhadram te, kshina dhukka phalahiyasi, samashvasi hi bhadram te, kshina dhukka phalahiyasi. I brought this ring, the pratyartham tavanitam tena dhattam, dhattam, given by Rama, Mahatmana, given by Rama, the purpose of gaining your confidence, get consoled indeed. Shamaswasam, Ashwasam in Tamil and Malayalam, basically, Ashwasam is Samadhanam, Ashwasam, get a relief, get consoled and relieved, and let the happiness come, because you are already Kshina Dukkha Phalahi Asi, full of your tiredness and also your sorrow and worries. So come out of that, get more happiness, get consoled, get more a relief by seeing the signet ring, seeing the Anguliyam given by none other than Rama, which I have brought it to you. Pratyayartham tavanitam tena dhattam mahatmana samashvasahi bhadram te kshina dukkha phalahiyasi. Rama, Rama, Rama. We have the temple for this slide here associated, which many of us definitely would have visited, because most of the people who come from Chennai know this particular temple, which is where in Mylapore, the Las Anjaneyar Kovil, which is very famous and which had been consecrated many years before, and which has a lot of significance in terms of being the oldest, one of the oldest temples, Anjaneya temples in Chennai. Beautiful temple of Anjaneya. Again, an Anjali Varada Anjaneya. As you can see, both the palms doing a namaskaram to Rama, and beautifully placed in the central point of Mylapore, Las area. And lot of Mahaperival in those days, Mahaperival as we call him, the Chandrasekharendra Saraswati Swami of Kanchi Matha, who had his Mahasiddhi so many years before. He used to regularly go there and visit and do all his dhyana. That is what was known earlier in the days. And so it became more pure and positive with the great soul's energy too in that place. Rama, Rama, Rama. I again repeat the sloka. Pratyayartham tavanitam tena dhattam mahatmana samashvasi hi bhadram te kshina dukkha phalahiyasi. Rama, 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 Rama. We come to the next sloka, which is the following sloka, sloka number 4, from the same Sarga 36 of Sundarakanda, further again describing the Anguliya Pradhana portion of Sundarakanda. Grihitva prekshamanasa bhartruhu karavibhushanam bhartaram iva samprapta Janaki mudita abhavat. Grihitva prekshamanasa bhartruhu karavibhushanam bhartaram iva samprapta Janaki mudita abhavat. Grihitva, accepted. Prekshamanasa bhatruhu. Prekshamana, the presented one, bhatruhu, of the husband, the vibhushanam, the ornament, the jewel. Bhartaram iva samprapta, as if she has already seen the husband. Bhartaram. Janaki mudita abhavat. Janaki, Sita, became mudita abhavat. The happiness in her, the blossoming of happiness in her, which happened after seeing that, after accepting the ring in her hand, the Anguliyam. Grihitva prekshamanasa bhartruhu karavibhushanam bhartaram iva samprapta Janaki mudita abhavat. Let us all get the happiness of receiving our results of all the good tasks after listening to this sloka, getting the enthusiasm to achieve that, and let us get back to our duties in the right way, to do it with more confidence. This sloka is the one which among the Anguliya Pradhana slokas in Sundarakanda represents the amount of happiness and the achievement sense in each one of us. And let us have the temple related to this particular sloka, which is really very powerful in terms of lot of significance historically. Here you can see that we have the Anjanadri as a temple here mentioned for this particular sloka. Anjanadri is something which is very significant. I don't know how many of us have been able to go there. At least in our lifetime, we should definitely visit this place because it has historical significance, even according to the geologists from various parts of the world, including states, including Germany, including Netherlands, including Spain, including UK, and including India. All the geologists who are major people, significant people in the research field, have given this research to this particular spot, the place, and the governments have themselves declared that this is the oldest plateaus on the planet Earth. It is the oldest plateaus on the planet Earth itself. And it is almost having all the microlithic, megalithic, and Neolithic age inscriptions and representations there. And it is, according to geologists, more than 4 billion years old. This particular spot is more than 4 billion years old. And significantly, it is the part where it is Anjaneya's, the great Hanuman's, the Anjaneya's birthplace, which is signified here. And in Canada, it is because it is in Karnataka, near Hampi, it is older than Hampi, and which is known as Kishkinda and Anagundi. The place is in Kapol district, and it is the oldest in the planet Earth, and the birthplace of Anjaneya. And the mountain Rishimukha, which we have heard in Ramayana, is just nearby there, which is 3,000 million years old, according to scientists, not just Ramayana, according to scientists, geologists, they have signified this. And it is where Anjaneya's birthplace is there, which is so important in Ramayana, and which is so important for us. And it is here where another significant incident happened in the legend of Ramayana, where Rama met Shabari, where we have the Pampa Sarovara. Pampa Sarovara, many people would be confused. Pampa, when we hear, we always think it is in Shabarimala, the Pampa in Kerala. That is another Pampa. Actually, Pampa, which is associated with Ramayana, is not the Shabarimala Pampa. It is Pampa, which is in near to Anjanadri, which is Anagundi, and which is the original Pampa mentioned in Ramayana. The Pampa which is mentioned and which we see in Kerala is different a Pampa, because you have different same names for different places, many places, right? The same way. And this is where Shabari and Rama had the meeting. Shabari Moksha happened there, and it is Shabari Pita is there in Pampa, which is in near to Hampi, that is in Anjanadri, the place of Anjaneya's birth. So let us have the sloka again here, which is very significant, because we have seen the place of birth of Anjaneya, and we have seen the receiving of Anguliya by Sita Mata from Anjaneya's hand, and the happiness and achievement sense which came to her, as if she had seen Rama in front of herself. Rama himself in front of her. Grihitva prekshamana sa patruhu karavibhushanam bhartaram iva samprapta janaki mudita abhavat. It is not only the happiness, it is also the motivation which comes into you when you are already in a depressed and a despondent stage, and suddenly you receive some good omen, even though the result has not yet come, but you see a slight movement or a change in the situations, how the human mind gets excited. The same way is what is mentioned here, where Sita Devi has been depicted as getting into the happiness mode, as if Rama himself is in front of her, forgetting for a moment that she is surrounded by the Rakshasis, and she is already in Ashokavana and not even has moved an inch from where she has been physically. But she could see Rama in front of her by the positive motivation and words given, and the Anguliya Pradhanam done by Anjaneya, which here clearly shows how the protocol and how the role of a messenger is so important, and how it had been followed in the right way by Anjaneya, by depicting and doing the deeds in a very, very confident and having the presence of mind to do it in the right way. Grihitva prekshamana bhatruhu. Grihitva prekshamana bhatruhu karavibhushanam bhartaram iva samprapta janaki mudita abhavat. I repeated this sloka because this is a very important part in the Anguliya Pradhanam and the receiving of the Anguliyam by Sita Mata. So here I would like to take you back to all the three slokas so that we complete the Anguliya Pradhanam, the main part of Sundarakanda. So we come with the first sloka again. Tato, Vanaro aham mahabhage dhuto ramasya dhimataha ramanama ankitam cha idam pashya devi anguliyakam pratyayartham tavanitam tena dhattam mahatmana samashwasihi bhadram te kshina dukkha falahiyasi. Grihitva prekshamana sa bhatruhu karavibhushanam bhartaram iva samprapta janaki mudita abhavat. Rama 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 Rama. Let us have the beautiful darshan of Alathiyur Hanuman temple in Tirur, Malappuram district. Also let us have the beautiful darshan of Mylapore Las Anjaneya. And also let us have the great Anjanadri visit, which is the oldest in the plateau, in the planet in itself. And let us have the beautiful darshan of them and be showered by the blessings of Hanuman to become more focused. It is mainly to get the focus in our life, to get more confident, to get more motivated, and to achieve the happiness of the results even before it comes. So the amount of results also bring in empty of all results, which will be very fruitful and confident building in us, confident building in us. So now I come to the next sloka, which is the 40th sloka, 40th sloka of the same Sarga 36 of Sundarakanda. Here we go to the second part of Anguliya Pradhana, where we slowly enter the Chudamani Darshana, Chudamani Pradhana of Sita, the mutual exchange of the biometrics, the identification, which is being done. So we go to that portion now slowly. Here we have the sloka, Kshipram Drakshyasi Vaidehi Ramam Prasravane Giro Shatakrutu Mivasinam Naka Prishtasya Murdhani. Kshipram Drakshasi Vaidehi Ramam Prasravane Giro Shatakrutumivasinam Naka Prishtasya Murdhani. Kshipram, immediately, very soon. Kshipram Drakshyasi Vaidehi. Vaidehi again, another synonym for Sita, Mata, Vaidehi, Vaidehi, Janaki, Sita, Maithili, all the different synonyms of Sita Mata. Drakshyasi Vaidehi, Kshipram Drakshyasi Vaidehi. So soon, very soon, Drakshyasi will see Vaidehi. Oh Vaidehi, you will see very soon. Whom? Ramam Prasravane Giro. Rama on the mountain, Prasravane Giro, Prasravana mountain, that is the highest mountain which was there in those days. Prasravane Giro, Shatakrutu Mivasinam, like Indra, Shataha is 100 elephants. Shatakrutu, Shata, 100. Shata is 100. Krutu Mivasinam, Asinam, being seated, seated on Airavata. Shatakrutu Mivasinam, the celestial elephant of Indra. Naka Prishtasya Murdhani. Naka Prishtasya Murdhani. Kshipram Drakshyasi Vaidehi Ramam Prasravane Giro Shatakrutumivasinam Naka Prishtasya Murdhani. Here we have the beautiful temple of Sri Ardhagiri Veera Anjaneya temple. Ardhagiri Veera Anjaneya temple is in the Chittoor district of Andhra Pradesh. Aragonda, the place is Aragonda in Chittoor district of Andhra Pradesh, and it is supposed to be very significant according to the legend of Ramayana, where a part of Sanjeevani mountain had fallen when Hanuman was carrying it to get back Lakshmana to the conscious state. So this is an important part of the hill, which is a part of Sanjeevani mountain, supposed to have fallen as a ching there in Ardhagiri. Ardhagiri, the meaning of Ardha is half mountain. Ardhagiri, Giri is mountain. Ardhagiri Kshetra, Viranjaneya Kshetra at Aragonda in Chittoor district of Andhra Pradesh, which is a fallen part of the Sanjeevani mountain in Treta Yuga, when Hanuman carried it towards Sri Lanka to get back Lakshmana Swami back to his conscious state from the effect of the Nagastra of Indrajit, where he was in an unconscious state. The Sanjeevani herb which was brought, the whole mountain was carried by Anjaneya, as we had seen the first day when we mentioned about the Jakku temple, if you remember, in Shimla, where he rested for a while to think in a presence of mind how to save time, and rather than wasting time by searching for the herb, to bring the whole mountain back here and be well within time. So time sense is something which has been depicted here. Ardhagiri, Viranjaneya temple at Aragonda, Chittoor district of Andhra Pradesh, a fallen part of the Sanjeevani mountain in Ramayana, which is a very significant thing. So let us visit this particular place and get the effect of the Sanjeevani, at least the air of Sanjeevani through us, and have the fragrance of the Sanjeevani through our nasal path to get us more healthy and more immune, especially during this COVID times which we underwent. So again, I have the sloka here. Kshipram drakshyasi vaidehi Ramam prasravane giro Shatakrutumivasinam Naka prishtasya murdhani. Kshipram, the sooner drakshyasi, you will see Vaidehi, E Sita Mata, you will see Rama mounted on the Prasravane Giro. Giro is again mountain, the synonym for mountain, Girihi Giro. And you will see in the Prasravana mountain, Rama, Kshipram, soon, as good as how, like Indra, who is mounted in the celestial Airavata, Nagaprishtasya Murdhani. Murdhani in the top of that, Murdhani in the head of that, you will see Rama. Kshipram Drakshasi Vaidehi Ramam Prasravane Giro Shatakrutumivasinam Nakaprishtasya Murdhani. Rama, Rama, Rama. We go to the next sloka, which is incidentally from the 38th Sarga of Sundarakanda. Now, as I had mentioned, we are getting into the Chudhamani Pradhana by Anjaneya, by Sita Mata to Anjaneya, as to give it to Rama to get the confidence and get him know that she is safe and hale and healthy there in spite of all her sorrows, and waiting for Rama to come and take her back. So here we have the 10th sloka from the 38th Sarga of Sundarakanda. Yedina utsaha seyatum maya sadram anindhite abhijnanam prayaschatvam Janiyat Raghavo hiyat yedi na utsahe yatum maya sardram anindhite. O faultless Sita, if you are not willing to go with me, Anjaneya had said initially, Hanuman had said that seeing the plight, seeing the sorrow of Sita Mata, he had said and offered, saying that there is no time to waste. I can take you there back here right now if you are ready to come, instead of waiting for a whole lot of the army to come. So, oh faultless Sita, if you are not willing to go with me, give me a token of remembrance. Abhijnanam prayaschatvam janiyat raghavo hiyat. A token of remembrance which Rama Raghavaha can recognize. Janiyat, let him recognize. So give me a token of remembrance, something like a biometric. Again, here an identity like an Aadhaar card or a card, permanent residency card of a foreign country, the same way. So give me a remembrance, a token of remembrance. Yedina utsahase yatum Maya sardram anindhite abhijnanam prayaschatvam janiyat, recognizing Raghavo hiyat, Rama to recognize, a token of remembrance. And here we have the beautiful temple of Sri Bhadra Maruti temple, Bhadra Maruti temple, which is actually in Kultabad near Aurangabad, Maharashtra. It is in Maharashtra. Here, the significance of this place according to legend and Aidihya, actually this is very near to Ellora caves, which many of us would have visited. Ajanta Ellora caves, which we have heard, which is a historical World Heritage Site even today. 4 kilometers near to that is this temple, Sri Bhadramaruti temple in Kultabad, Aurangabad of Maharashtra, Aurangabad district of Maharashtra. And here the significance is it is a Shayana Anjaneya temple. Hanuman in a reclining, in a Shayana posture, the yogic posture of Shayana. You have Hanuman in the yogic posture of Shayana only in 3 places. This is one of the places. The other one is the famous one in the banks of Ganga, the Ganges in Allahabad, Sangam, Triveni Sangam, and the other where Tulsidas had his darshan. And the other one is in Jamsawali in Madhya Pradesh. These 3 places, including this, is where we have the Shayana Anjaneya. You remember and recollect that we have been seeing for the past 2 days Anjaneya in different various yogic forms. First being the Yoga Anjaneya, where we had in Sholingar. Then we had the Dhyana Anjaneya. Then we had the Ganti Abhaya Hasta Anjaneya. Then we had the Anjali Varada Anjaneya, which is coming up today. And then we now have the Shayana Anjaneya here. Shayana Anjaneya, which is a yogic posture. Shayanaha Samadhi Nidra Samadhi Sthitihi, which we had mentioned earlier also. That is a yogic posture, and it is known as Bhava Samadhi. Shayana is known as Bhava Samadhi because Samadhi, Nidra is a Samadhi which we do every day, and Anjaneya has displayed it here. And when do you do Nidra? When you are relaxed, when your body becomes relaxed and you want to really take a sleep, a nap, which is the Shayana Samadhi, which is Bhava Samadhi. And Anjaneya here is in a Bhava Samadhi state. And Bhadramaruti temple, how the name comes here. This place earlier, this particular place, Kultabad near Aurangabad, Maharashtra, was earlier known as Bhadravati. The place was known as Bhadravati. The name goes by because there was a king called Bhadra who was ruling the place. And that is why it became Bhadravati. Bhadrasena was the king, actually the full name of the king. And the king was a very good artist. He was a very good singer, and he used to compose songs and sing, and was very pious in his life and very spiritual. So every day when he used to sing songs, Anjaneya used to come in front of him, which he didn't realize, and he was closing his eyes and he was singing. And one day, after he finished his song, when he saw in front of him, when he opened his eyes, he could see Anjaneya nicely sleeping, having a Shayana Kola and enjoying the song, half asleep, enjoying the song. And that is when Bhadrasena requested Anjaneya that from that day onwards, please stay here permanently to bless all our people and bring happiness and success and all the divine grace to them, and which Anjaneya immediately consented. And that is why we have this beautiful kshetra here, the Sri Bhadramaruti temple in Kultabad, Aurangabad, Bhadravati kshetra, which it was known earlier as. And again, I have this sloka here repeated for this beautiful temple. Yedina utsahase yatum maya sadram anindhite abhijnanam prayaschatvam janiyat ragavo hiyat. O faultless Sita, if you are not willing to go with me, give me a token of remembrance, the Chudamani, which Rama can recognize. So this is the first sloka in the Chudamani Pradhana, which is again very important. We go to the next sloka, Rama Rama Rama, which is incidentally the 11th sloka from the same Sarga 38 of Sundarakanda, which is the second sloka, the second step in the Chudamani Pradhana by Sita Mata to Anjaneya. Eva Mukta Hanumata Sita Surasuta Upama Uvacha Vachanam Mandam Bhashpa Pragrahitaksharam Idam Sreshtam Abhijnanam Bruyaha Tvam tu mama priyam Tvam tu mama priyam Eva Muktva Hanumata Sita Surasuta Upama Uvacha Vachanam Mandam Bhashpa Pragrahitaksharam Idam Sreshtam Abhijnanam Bruyaha Tvam tu mama priyam. Hearing Hanuman's words, Eva Muktva Hanumata, hearing Hanuman's words, Sita, like the daughter of a god, Surasuta Upama, equal to the Surasuta, Deva's daughter, daughter of a god, Sita, slowly spoke the following words. Uvacha Vachanam Mandam. Mandam Uvacha Vachanam. Slowly spoke the words. Bhashpa Pragrahita Aksharam. Bhashpa Pragrahita Aksharam. With tears. Bhashpam is tears. Pragrahita Aksharam. With tears together, she came out with some words. What were the words? Idham Sreshtam Abhijnanam. Idham Sreshtam. Sreshtam is the beautiful, that is the important, Sreshtam, the important thing. What is the important thing? Idham Sreshtam Abhijnanam. Abhijnanam, known to remember, Abhijnanam. Bruyaha Tvam tu mama priyam. Tell my priyam, my husband, Rama, this important thing which he will remember, the token of remembrance. I will give you the excellent thing, the excellent Sreshta thing, the excellent thing for remembrance of, as a token of remembrance to my beloved husband. Bruyaha Tvam tu mama priyam. Eva Mukta Hanumata Sita Surasuta Upama Uvacha Vachanam Mandam Bhashpa Pragrahita Aksharam Idham Sreshtam Abhijnanam Bruyaha Tvam tu mama priyam. Rama Rama Rama. Let us have the beautiful temple for this sloka, which is the Mehendipur Balaji temple in Karauli district, Rajasthan, again here, where many of us would have seen, especially in the north. It is a very famous temple in North India, in Rajasthan, where it is known as Balaji temple, because Anjaneya there is also having a synonym as Balaji. Balaji means Balarupa, Bala Anjaneya, Balarupa. Bala Anjaneya in Mehendipur Balaji temple in Rajasthan, Karauli district. Here, it is famous for the ritualistic and exorcism techniques which are done there to remove the evil spirits, remove all the evil things supposed to be in many people who get it through some possessions or whatever they call it. So all these things are removed there in this temple, where you have different pratishtas, being the main pratishta of Balaji Anjaneya, Balarupa Anjaneya, but you have other pratishtas as the Pretaraj in the entrance, just like we have Bhairava Murti in many temples in South. And you have other idols also of Ganpati and others. And Tuesdays are very famous in this temple, where they do all the removal of these negatives, and you get removal of your health problems also in this particular temple by doing the rituals. And very famous in Mehendipur Balaji temple in Karoli district in Rajasthan, where we have the Bala Anjaneya. Balaji, as he is known, Balaji with respect, due respect, he is known as Bala, and G as a respect, sir. So Balaji, the Bala sir. the young, youthful, playful Hanuman there in Mehendipur, who playfully removes away all our miseries. Anjaneya in Mehendipur, Balaji temple in Rajasthan. So again, I have the sloka here. Evam ukta Hanumata Sita Surasuta Upama Uvacha Vachanam Mandam Bhashpa Pragrahitaksharam Idam Sreshtam Abhijnanam Bruyaha Tvam Tumama Priyam. Eva Muktva Hanumata Sita Surasuta Upama. Like a daughter of the god herself, Sita Eva Muktva Hanumata spoke to Hanuman. What she spoke? Uvacha Vachanam Mandam. Mandam Uvacha Vachanam. Slowly, in a very mild way, she Uvacha told Vachanam certain sentences. Bhashpa Pragrahita Aksharam, with tears in her eyes. Idam Sreshtam Abhijnanam. The excellent, here, the excellent token of remembrance. Bruyaha Tvam, you tell to my husband, to Mama Priyam, to my beloved, to my husband. So this was the second sloka in the Chudhamani Pradhana by Sita Mata to Anjaneya. And the next sloka where we are coming to the Chudhamani Pradhana actually.
Krishna, first.
Yes?
Krishna.
Hello?
Krishna.
Hello, can I continue? Hello? Yes, Sriram, can I continue? Because there was some sound in between.
No,
Yes,
no, you
Baba,
can
please go.
continue.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can continue. Yeah.
Okay. Tato vastragatam muktva divyam chudamanim shubham. Tato vastragatam muktva divyam chudamanim shubham. Pradeyo raghavaya iti Sita Hanumate dato. Pradeyo Raghavaya iti Sita Hanumate dato. Tato Vastragatam Muktva. Then untying the bright divine jewel from her head, tied in her garment, tied in the garment, untying the garment where this divine jewel was there. Tato Vastragatam Muktva. Vastram is dress, the garment. Vastragatam Muktva. Muktva, untying that. Divyam Chudamanim Shubham. The Divyam, the divine Chudamani. Chudamani, the head jewel, the hair jewel. Chudamanim. Sita gave it. Pradheyo Raghavaya iti. Give it to Rama, as saying that give it, hand it over to Rama. Iti Sita Hanumate dadau. Sita gave it to Hanuman. Hanumate dadau. Tato vastragatam muktva divyam chudhamanim shubham pradeyo raghavaya iti Sita Hanumate dadau. Tadhau vastragatam muktva divyam chudamanim shubham pradeyo raghavaya iti Sita Hanumate datau. Rama Rama Rama. Here we have the beautiful temple of Maunagiri Hanuman, which is around 36 to 39 feet tall, a statue, a monolithic idol in Anantapur. In the Bangalore highway, we have this particular statue, a monolithic statue built by the Maunagiri Trust and maintained by them, and where the temple is being constructed surrounding this in a bigger way, which the works are going on now. The idol has been there since quite long, but the temple is being constructed surrounding it with other installations of idols very soon, and this is being constructed by the Maunagiri Trust in the Anantapur Bangalore highway. And anyone who is able to go there, kindly bring in all the blessings to all of us. Such a beautiful idol there, which is in a single stone, 36 to 39 feet, a monolithic idol. Maunagiri Hanuman Temple in Anantapur, Bangalore highway. Again, I repeat this beautiful sloka. tato vastragatam muktva divyam chudhamanim shubham pradeyo raghavaya iti Sita Hanumate dadau. Rama Rama Rama. We come to the next sloka, which is again the next stage of Chudamani Pradhana and receiving it. Already when Sita has removed, untied the Chudamani from her body and given it to Anjaneya, Dadau, Hanumate Dadau. Next, what happens? It is the next sloka immediately following the 69th sloka, which we just went through, the 70th sloka from the Sarga 38 of Sundarakanda, which we are seeing in this slide now. Pratigruhya tatho viro, pratigruhya tatho viro, maniratnam anuttamam, maniratnam anuttamam, angulya yojayamasa, nahi asya prabhavat bhujah, angulya yojayamasa, nahi asya prabhavat bhujah. Pratigruhya tatho viro maniratnam anuttamam. Taking the excellent jewel, pratigruhya, taking it, tatho viro maniratnam, maniratnam, the excellent jewel, Hanuman, anuttamam, that is unequal to anything, which is an excellent thing. Taking the excellent jewel, the valiant Hanuman thereupon fitted it to his finger, Angulya Yojaya Masa, fitted it to his finger. Why he did that? Why he fitted that to his finger rather than just taking it in hand and carrying it? Because that is the presence of mind when you are flying through the skies, and so that lest it falls down. So how presence of mind is taken here into consideration is a very important thing, in spite of being multifunctional. Also, the multifunctional skills are mentioned here. He has been a good messenger, displaying his deeds in a patterned way, delegating the things and which Rama had delegated to him, doing it and delivering it on time, and at the same time having the presence of mind, being multifunctional at the same time, and having the presence of mind at the right moment. The Buddhir Balam Yashodhairyam sloka, which depicts that, which we'll repeat in the end of this session. Taking the excellent jewel, the valiant Hanuman thereupon fitted it to his finger, Angulya Yojaya Masa, since his arm, even though he had assumed his former tiny form, was not fitting to it properly. Nahi asya prabhavat bhujaha. Bhuja is the hand. Bhuja is the hand. Nahi asya prabhavat. Because already he had taken the tiny form, still fitting it into his finger is also the presence of mind so that it doesn't fall in the ocean. Pratigruhya. So he wanted that to be reached safely to his Lord and do the protocol in the right way. Pratigruhya tatho viro maniratnam anuttamam angulya yojayamasa nahi asya prabhavat bhujaha. Pratigruhya tatho viro maniratnam anuttamam angulya yojayamasa nahi asya prabhavat bhujaha. Let us have the beautiful temple associated with this sloka. Here we have the beautiful temple of Nanganallur Anjaneyar. As we have seen, many of us have seen in Chennai, Nanganallur Anjaneyar being a very famous temple in Nanganallur, Chennai, where the Anjaneyar is known as Vishwarupa Adivyadihara Anjaneyar. Pranatartihara Anjaneyar in Sanskrit. In Tamil, Adivyadihara Anjaneyar. Sri Bhakta Anjaneyar, Adivyadihara, remover of all the Adi, the anxieties, and Vyadhi, the diseases, the miseries in us. Adivyadihara, Pranatartihara, Bhakta Sri Bhakta Anjaneya, the Vishwarupa Anjaneya. You can see him really in the Vishwarupa form in this slide, where he is in Nanganallur. And many of us who have visited the temple are also aware of the Vadamalai Chartal, the Vadamalai which is offered to Anjaneya, the 1008 Vadamalai, the 108 and 1008 malas of Vada, which is offered as an offering to Anjaneya in special days, the Hanumat Jayanti or Tuesdays and all Saturdays, all these days when it is offered as a special offering to Anjaneya and receive the blessings from him. The Adivyadi Hara Sri Bhakta Anjaneya, the Pranatarthi Hara Vishwarupa Bhakta Anjaneya of Nanganallur, the very famous Anjaneya who has been there since years. There is a significant part of the legend also, which goes to say that Nanganallur Anjaneya temple, where it is situated today, to date, is actually a spot where one of the Sanjeevani hills portion had fallen when Anjaneya carried the Sanjeevani hill to Sri Lanka and back forth. So this is also one of the places where the Sanjeevani Malai portion has fallen when Anjaneya was carrying the mountain. So different pieces of the Sanjeevani mountain, as we see here, has fallen in different important spots where we have the Vishesha Anjaneya Kshetras in and around the world. So again, I have this beautiful sloka here. Pratigruhya tatho viro maniratnam anuttamam angulya yojayamasa nahi asya prabhavat bhujaha. Rama, 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 Rama. We have the final sloka of the Chudhamani Pradhana by Sita Mata to Anjaneya as the 71st sloka of the Sarga 38, following the 70th, which we just had gone through. Mani Ratnam Kapivaraha Pratigruhya Abhivadayacha Sitam Pradakshinam Krutva Pranataha Parshvataha Stitaha Mani Ratnam Kapivaraha Pratigruhya Abhivadayacha. After receiving Mani Ratnam, Kapivaraha, Kapihi is again Vanara, Kapihi, and Markadaha is also Vanara, monkey, and Kapihi. Mani Ratnam, Kapivaraha, Pratigruhya. Pratigruhya, Kapivaraha, Pratigruhya Mani Ratnam. After receiving the Mani Ratnam, the Chudamani, Abhivadayacha, Sitam Pradakshinam Krutva Abhivadayacha. After doing Pradakshinam, after doing Abhivade, after going down to Sita, offering salutation to Sita and doing a Pradakshinam, engaging himself in the circumambulation around Sita as a mark of respect, Pranataha Parshvataha Stitaha, and stood aside with humbleness to just get her concurrence for his travel back to Sri Rama. So he was standing aside with humbleness after doing a namaskaram with pradakshinam to Sita Mata. Mani Ratnam Kapivaraha Pratigruhya Abhivadayacha Sitam Pradakshinam Krutva Pranataha Parshvataha Stitaha. Just get to know something which is very important, the reading between lines, as we call it in the modern days, or reading inside the lines, whatever you call it. Just take it out from this particular sloka and the meaning of it. How Anjaneya, with so much powers and doing such a mighty deed of crossing so many yojanas of the ocean, the mighty ocean, flying through the skies and reaching out to Sita Mata and giving the signet ring and doing the duties of a messenger with such a humble attitude, humbleness, in spite of being so powerful. And after receiving the Chudamani, after giving the motivation to Sita and bringing in happiness in her and the confidence back to her, and then at the same time, being humble, receiving the Chudamani and doing a namaskaram and standing so humbly aside of her to get her permission to go back. So waiting for the orders from the master and the master's wife, as good as a very good messenger, how the protocol was being followed, and all the multifunctional skills which he displayed all through this, the process of all through this, how much of a multifunctional skill he had exhibited. So now here we just go through all the slokas, the last 4 slokas of Chudamani Pradhana once again in a faster pace. So here from the sloka 40th. Kshipram drakshasi vaidehi Ramam prasravane giro Shatakrutumivasinam Nakaprishtasya murdhani Kshipram drakshasi vaidehi Ramam prasravane giro Shatakrutumivasinam Nakaprishtasya murdhani Yedina utsahase yatum Maya sardram anindhite abhijnanam prayaschatvam jani yatra gavohiyat yedina utsahase yatum maya sardram anindhite abhijnanam prayaschatvam jani yatra gavohiyat eva mukta hanumata Sita surasuta
நீ என்ன வேணா பண்ணிக்கோ மாயா பாவம் என்ன பண்ணுமோ தெரியல
Bhashpa pragrahita aksharam idam sreshtam abhijnanam bhruyaha tvam tu mama priyam eva mukta hanumata Sita surasuta upama uvacha vachanam mandam Bhashpa pragrahita aksharam idam sreshtam abhijnanam Bhruyaha tvam tu mama priyam tato vastragatam muktva divyam chudamanim shubham pradeyo raghavaya iti Sita hanumate dadau tato vastragatam muktva divyam chudamanim shubham pradeyo raghavaya iti Sita hanumate dadau pratigruhya tato viro maniratnam anuttamam angulya yojayamasa nahi asya prabhavat bujah pratigruhya tato viro maniratnam anuttamam angulya yojayamasa nahi asya prabhavat bujah Maniratnam kapivaraha pratigruhya abhivadhaya cha Sitam pradakshinam kritva pranataha parshvataha stitaha Rama Rama Rama. Here we have the beautiful temple for this sloka as the final temple of today's session, which is the Chinnalampatti Anjaneya Anjali Varada Anjaneya temple. Chinnalampatti, when we say, most of the ladies are aware of the Chinnalampatti pattu, the saris, which were very famous around some time before. And this is the place in Dindigul district of Tamil Nadu, where we have this beautiful temple of Chinnalampatti Anjaneya in a 16 feet height, which is a full Saligrama stone. And you have the eyes like the grapes, the bright grapes viewing you from all the angles. And this is also one of the spots where the Sanjeevani Malai had fallen. A piece of Sanjeevani Malai had fallen. And Sanjeevani Malai, as such, I just wanted to bring in this also here for a few minutes. Sanjeevani Malai is nothing but the Dronagiri Malai, which is also known as Dronagiri Malai in the Chamoli district of Uttarakhand near the Himalayas, Himachal, which is 3,500 meters above sea level, and in the Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve, which is a very rare spot for people to go and visit. Human habitation is very less. Here you have some tribals, and they have very equipped with all the herbs and herbal sciences, and a lot of research is being done for the Sanjeevani by the Uttarakhand government also, and from the world levels also, where it has been instructed by different scientists through the government. And Sanjeevani Malai, for your information, as we saw in Nanganallur, a piece had fallen. In Chinnalampatti, a piece had fallen. And we have the other places like Suchindram and Namakkal also, the other two places in India where it had fallen. Plus, the other place where it had fallen in India is Devasayalpuram, in near to Thuthukudi, Tirunelveli in the highway, you have that temple where we have the 77 feet old height Hanuman idol there in the Rajarajeshwari temple compound in Thuthukudi district. And then you have the most important spot where Sanjeevani Malai at last fell, which was in Nagarela in Rampoda, Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, where Anjaneya carried this hill. So 5 spots where the Sanjeevani hill pieces had fallen in India, including and in Sri Lanka. And the basic Sanjeevani Malai, which was placed back by Anjaneya after bringing it to Sri Lanka, he went back and placed it back in Uttarakhand, where we originally had it, and it is still there as Dronagiri, where a lot of herbal research is going on from the world level, in the world level, by different scientists and sponsored and funded by the governments. If you can go through articles and papers, you can get these details easily. Rama, 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 Rama. Here, I think we had a beautiful journey of Anguliya Pradhana and Chudamani Darshana, which was the most important part in to bring all the success in our lives. And with this, I think we can go for the bhajan of today.
Sir, excuse me. Sir,
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'll have to leave, but then it was really fantastic. I have to go to work. And really,
Thank you.
thank you for bringing us back
Thank
to our
you.
roots in this modern society. Thank you,
Carry on
sir.
and have a successful day by Anjaneya's Kripa.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay, we will now play the bhajan.
Jaya 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 Hanumanta Veera Jaya 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 Hanumanta Veera Jaya 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 Vayu Kumara Jaya 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 Vayu Kumara Jaya 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 Hanumanta Veera Sankata Mochana Vayu Kumara Sankata Mochana Vayu Kumara Jaya 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 Pavana Kumara Jaya 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 Pavana Kumara Jaya 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 Hanumanta Veera Jaya 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 Hanumanta Veera Sankata Mochana Vayu Kumara Sankata Mochana Vayu Kumara Sankata Mochana Vayu Kumara Sankata Mochana Vayu Kumara Jaya 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 Hanumanta Veera.
Thank you.
Thank you all for attending day 3 session. We will conclude today's session. Thank you all again for joining.
Thank you, everyone. And let us join tomorrow with another beautiful session of Anjaneya's deeds.
Have a great day, everyone. Thank you, Sukumar sir.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shivakumar sir. I'm going to log out now. Bye.
Thank you, Ma. See you tomorrow.